Paid for by Save Juneau, P.O. Box 32142 Juneau, Alaska 99803 Molly Duval Chair. Top contributors Wayne Coogan, James Wilcox and Robert Jacobson.
Hello, this is Alex Sargent with Did You Know Juneau? Today we have Jeff Jones in the house, and he is running for an area-wide city assembly seat.
Correct.
Awesome. So, Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself and what qualifies you to represent us on the Juneau Assembly.
Well, I've lived in Juneau for over 30 years, most of my adult life. A retired plumber from Cameron Plumbing here in Juneau, then went to work for the university for almost 10 years. Kind of retired from the university. Now I work for Long Building Technologies. We're a controls contractor in Southeast Alaska. And I've seen so many things happen in this city that some I agree with, some I don't. Mm-hmm. And I've always told everybody, if you don't vote, you can't complain. And now I'm to the point that if you're going to complain, you better try to get involved. If you don't get involved, quit complaining. So here I am with that. What the heck?
All right.
Can't hurt, right?
Right. Absolutely. So our first question. We all love living in Juneau, but it's expensive. Save Juneau is concerned about the cost of living. What is one idea that Assembly could implement to lower Juneau's cost of living?
I'm sure everybody said the same thing. Property taxes, property taxes, property taxes. We need more housing. We need more housing. We need more housing. Industry. I hear a lot of people complaining about tourism. Mm-hmm. But one of the things there, I don't want to tell my neighbors and my friends that you can't conduct a business because we're going to cut off tourists. Tourism is a big thing in Juneau. So one of the things that I would like to see implemented is a temporary sales tax from April to October. Add 3% to our sales tax. Locals exempt. It puts a little bit of a burden on merchants. I've been a business owner in town, so I understand how a tax structure works. It's not impossible. It's just a little extra work from their accountant. But a little bit of on the citizens as well. I mean, if you don't show your ID, you might pay 8% instead of 5%. But I've heard rumors the average person off a cruise ship spends $500 in Juneau. Mm-hmm. Let's add 3% to that. That's only $15. But when you're talking about 1.6 to 1.9 million tourists, you're looking at another $20 to $25 million in our city coffers. Yeah. So that's one way. Obviously, we got to get housing costs under control. The only way to do that is to add more housing. Mm-hmm. So the city really needs to open up some land, provide land for somebody to come in and build. I hate using the term affordable housing. Maybe starter homes, 1,100 square foot homes that families can afford. I feel so bad for the kids nowadays because it takes 2 incomes to live in this town. And then the problems of childcare, that's a whole other issue.
Yep, absolutely. So at both the state and city level, as well as the private sector, there are tons of vacant open positions in Juneau's workforce. Why can't Juneau attract more people to live and work here?
So that's a great question because I just finished 2 days at a job fair at our local union. I'm still belonging to the plumbers and pipe fitters here in town. We had IBEW, we had sheet metal union, we had operators, every union you can think of. In the last year, the company I work for, we've hired 2 guys from North Carolina, 1 guy from South Texas, and a guy from Nebraska. Mm-hmm. We can't find anybody local. Mm-hmm. There's numerous reasons we can't find anybody local. 1, we can't find people that are qualified. 2, and this speaks pretty loudly to some of the problems in Juneau, they can't pass a drug screen. So, yeah, how do you bring more people in? That's a good question. We have successfully done it in the last year. But it's tough. Cost of living is very expensive here. It takes 2 incomes. Fortunately, the company I work for, because we are a union contractor, we do pay well enough that you don't always have to have 2 incomes. One of my guys, his wife stays home, takes care of the kids. That's the way he wants it, and that's great. But he was barely able to afford a house in town too. So yeah, it's tough to say what we can do to bring more people in, but we have successfully done it in the last year. We brought 4 people in.
All right. So we're going to go into just being part of the assembly, and how do you see the roles of the assembly member and the city manager, which is hired by the assembly?
Right now, it seems like the city manager seems to run the assembly, not the other way around. I'm totally against the new city hall right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that we probably need one, and based on the amount of money they spend on leasing every year, the return on investment on that would be very good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other things. Again, the company I work for, we take care of the school district. I can't even explain how bad our schools are right now. They are in really bad shape maintenance-wise. Bartlett Hospital, that's scary. We could search is trying to buy them. So we're going to have one healthcare consortium in town. That disturbs me. Granted, whenever the hospital in Sitka gets built by Surgeon, we're just going to go to Sitka anyway. But good for them. But the city needs to look at how Bartlett's ran too. So he's just kind of throwing things out there. You know? I'm not a snow skier, so this will hit home for a few people. I'm not a big fan of the gondola either. I think they wasted a lot of money right there. I have a couple of friends that work up at Eagle Crest, and they said that thing will sit and rot right where it sits. And we're into it for about $4 million now. And then when they get the engineer's estimate for installing it, it's going to be 20 to 25 million. So that's just way too much money to throw at something like that. I don't know how long you've been in Juneau, but I remember when they tried running the ski lift in the summertime. It was a big failure. They did not get anybody from the cruise ships to go up and look at downtown Juneau from the top of Douglas. Whenever it's rainy and cloudy like this, what do you see? Rain. And the price they're going to have to charge for the gondola is outrageous. So I think I've heard $95 a person to go to the top of one. So I just think that right now it seems like the city manager is running the assembly. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Awesome. So how would your decision be affected by public opinion, testimony, emails, versus using your knowledge and judgment you have gained on issues if you were to be?
Well, first of all, you need to listen to the people that voted for you to put you in office. I mean, they have the biggest say. I mean, why would I want to tell people one thing, get elected, and do something completely different? I think that's probably a political mistake that most politicians make. So there's no way I want to go that direction. However, you still have to go with what you know. There's still a lot that I don't know. I mean, I've gone through the records on the CBJ website. There's a lot of things I don't know. So listening to everybody, doing my own research is definitely what we have to have.
Yeah, perfect. We're going to go into the ballot measure, the one ballot measure that we'll be voting on. Do you support public servants promoting the city hall with public money? That's question one. Do you have an alternative option to solving the ill-maintained public building we have today?
So no, I don't agree. If they're going to spend money on the pros, they should spend money on the cons. Again, I've lived the Thunder Mountain High School. It was rammed down our throats. It was turned down, and then they funded it, and everybody's fine. It's like, we give up. That's what they're doing with City Hall. We voted no. And what did they do? They threw $50,000 to promote it, and now they've thrown $10 million into the conference.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute. We said no. Now they're throwing it on the ballot again. I think it lost by like 280 votes last time, but it loses by 3,000 to 5,000 this time. I think they've really created a problem for themselves in doing so. The current building they're in, it's in shambles.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on it. I want to say it's $750,000 a year is what they're spending on leasing within the city. That's a lot of money. But again, like I say, we have other issues in town that need to be taken care of. And that comes with prioritizing spending.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of candidates actually say, well, we just need to take from the left side of the page and put it on the right side of the page. What are you eliminating on the left side of the page to enforce the right side of the page?
Right.
But and I don't know what that is. I mean, obviously our city budget has been balanced, but did they send the money in the right spaces? I don't think so.
Got it. All right, so we're going to go into property taxes. Some 400 homeowners appealed their property assessments this year. Talk to us about property taxes and where you stand on that.
I think it's gotten out of control. And again, it goes back to prioritizing your spending. If you just start throwing money at things, you've got to find more revenue. One of the things I've talked about too is the city has, I think, around 5,000 acres that they can release. If you were to release a 1/4 acre lot, that's 20,000 lots. The city doesn't pay themselves property taxes. So if you sell the lots, now you have property taxes. That increases our revenues. Another thing that the city has done years and years ago is they capped the mill rate. Now, they have been lowering the mill rate, but all they're doing is raising the property values to make up for the tax. So it doesn't make any sense. Personally, I think we ought to remove the cap. And sure, go ahead and raise the mill rate up, but start lowering property values to where we don't lose our revenue with the city, but we don't gouge the public either. I've heard the number 41% increase in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
There's a report that was given to us last week prior to the KTOO forum about a life safety thing. Basically, that's what that was life safety. The portion of the mill rate going to first responders has dropped 68% in the last 25 years. That's a scary number. We currently have 4 ambulances in town, only 2 can operate. I've thrown out a scenario of we have a cruise ship passenger that has a heart attack with drug overdose in the valley, and your child gets hit by a car. Your child's going to suffer because it's 18 to 20 minutes for first responders to get there, rather than normal 6 to 7 minutes that they can respond to arrests. But they have to rely on volunteers to come get in an ambulance and go. It takes a lot longer. So, man, prioritizing where they put their money. I definitely think they could start lowering property taxes.
Awesome. All right, our last question here. It's a bit ambiguous, but if you could make a promise to the voters that you swear not to break, what would it be?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh.
I've been told by numerous people that I'm going to be the one that throws the stick in the spokes. And I said, you're right.
Okay.
Because I promise there's not anything that will go through that I will not question if there's a question to be asked. And honestly, I think that we've suffered in that area. There's just been too much complacency, and everybody's like, shit. Oh, I agree. No. We need somebody to throw that stick in the spokes.
Right.
And I'll be that person.
Awesome. Let's give you some final statements if you want to go ahead and give them.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I think I pretty much said everything. But,
okay.
Yeah, like I say, I don't know everything about city government. I complain enough that I'm going to get involved.
Yeah.
And I hope that people look at it that way. Like I said, a positive note, they couldn't find me anywhere but on LinkedIn. So there's something to be said for that. I don't have a record. But yeah, and things like this are great. I appreciate the fact that you do stuff like this.
Awesome.
This makes it easier for us.
Awesome. Perfect.
And I love the fact that I don't know the questions in advance.
Oh, good.
It's what I was telling everybody. We had the Rotary on Wednesday or Thursday morning. And man, I love it when they don't tell us what the questions are. Because if I have the questions, I write out answers, and the next thing you know, I'm trying to blend answers from different questions, and I lose my place. I've done that twice. So I prefer not to know the questions in advance.
I feel like it comes from the heart too, because that's what I'm like.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hoping for. Honestly, is that it comes from the heart, right?
Some people engage mouth before they put the brain in gear. So.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, it is now your turn, Juneau, to vote. That is your job. The ballots will be mailed out September 14th. They should be in your mailbox by the 15th or 16th. Don't throw it in the trash. Don't throw it in recycling. It is your job to vote. Drop it in the mailbox. If you feel uncomfortable dropping in the mailbox, there are in-person locations that you can go to. Find out where those are for your district. Or also you can have your ballot certified to make sure it gets to where it needs to go. And you are voting. Thank you so much, and we'll see you out there.